Mike is in Orange County, California. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Hi, Dave. Hi, Dr. D. I hope you guys are sitting down because this is probably going to make your head hurt.
Bring it. Challenge accepted.
Let's start the hour out with that.
Hold our beers, Mike. Let's do this.
Brief background. I'm a twin. I was adopted at birth to a wonderful family. About 20 years ago, I researched my birth family and made connections. My twin had no interest at all in connecting with the family. I've developed a relationship with the existing family, which was my birth mother, a half brother, and a birth uncle. My birth mother and uncle have been vacant from the family since I joined the family. My uncle passed away a week ago, and I just learned that I was the executor of my wife and I are the executor of his trust. And he left us his condo, which is old. It's going to need some work, but we're navigating, one, financially, do we keep the condo, rent it, or do we sell it? How much work do we put into it? And secondly, I'm already getting calls from my birth mother and half-brother claiming that they're entitled to the property, and my half-brother already said that I need to fire sale it and send him $100,000 immediately. My uncle's wishes, he clearly communicated to me and his caretaker that he didn't want them having anything, to the point where I asked him about a antique picture, and he said if Arlene takes it, she would only sell the frame. So he feels strongly that they had both stolen from him over the years. So I'm trying to navigate the relational.
But that's his sister and his nephew.
Correct.
Okay. And
he
didn't have a sibling or children.
He was never married, no children.
Okay. And did he have a written will?
He's got a written will and a trust, leaving me as the executor of the trust and leaving my wife and I everything except for his car and a small savings account that he wants to go to his caretaker.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm so sorry. What a pinch to put you in after all the weirdness of this whole thing. So how is your relationship before all this happened with your half-brother and your birth mom?
Intermittent. She had violated a number of boundaries that we had set. Just to give you a feel for it.
So she has her own issues.
She's got plenty of issues.
Okay.
To the point where 15 years after I met her.
How ironic that your relationship ends up being with your uncle that you also didn't know. That's ironic.
But he was lonely. He was closer than her. He's just a diehard, sweet man. He worked for a Toyota dealership for 46 years, working on their lot. He's just a blue collar, sweet guy that I developed a relationship with.
So, Mike, here's a common situation here. Is you really hanging on to, this is hard what I'm about to say, okay? Hanging on to a fantasy, a myth that somehow this relationship with your birth mother is going to be restored to what it should have been or what it could have been. Same with your half brother.
Not at all.
Okay.
I am more concerned about.
Then the conversation ends there.
The
conversation ends there.
Okay.
Any more noise that you allow into your head is a choice you're making. Okay.
Okay.
You have no moral or legal obligation to give either one of them a dime.
In fact, I would suggest, based on what your uncle looked you in the eye and told you, you would be violating his wishes by.
So here's my answer if I'm you to your half brother, to your mom. And just go, this is really awkward for all of us. I love you guys, and I'm really sorry we're in this situation. Here's my legal obligation. I am the executor of the estate, which means I am legally bound to execute, to follow through on the written wishes of your uncle, your brother. I don't have a choice. I have to do what that says, or I am liable for legal action. That's why they call it an executor, because a Mike, an executor executes the terms of the will. That's all they do. They don't get to make up new wills. They don't get to change the deal. They just have to do what the deal says. That's the law, Mike. You don't have a choice. Now, once you have executed your uncle's wishes, which happens to be in this case that you become the owner of all of these things, if you choose to give away your stuff, then that's you choosing to give away your stuff. But if you give away your stuff to someone who is demanding it in order to create a relationship, hint, hint, there was never a relationship to start with. Relationships that are based on a financial transaction are called prostitution.
Yes.
And so if the only way your brother or half-brother is ever going to speak to you again is if you give him your money,
He's opting out.
He's checked out. Same thing with Arlene or whatever her name was. Yeah. But yeah, but that doesn't make this easier. That is just the correct thing to do. But people that function like your birth mom and your half brother they're travel agents for guilt trips. They
Absolutely.
feel entitled to other people's stuff. So if I choose to leave all of my money to one kid and the other two kids get nothing, it was my money. They are not entitled, not even legally entitled if I have a will that says they don't get it. You know, if I look at one of my three kids go, heroin addict, I am not funding your addiction, your death. You get Zippo because you have Zippo character, and I put that in the will. He's got no moral rights, no spiritual rights, no legal rights. And by the way, that would have been an act of love because your uncle looked at her and said, money is not a blessing to this lady. When she gets it, she misbehaves with it. It's a curse. So I'm not going to bother her with the curse. Sorry, Mike. It's hard to go through what you're going through. I hate it for you. But that, I would just bad guy off your uncle and go, gosh, I'm kind of handcuffed here. I'm just the executor. I don't have any legal choices. I have to do what the will says. And sorry, if you want to be mad, go out the graveyard and yell at the tombstone. Because I'm not here. I can't do anything about this. But it's not going to end well.
No.
These two goobs are going to be goobs because they're goobs.